go back to cinemas, and Sean, you saw Till.
Teal,
And
yes.
Till. Now, this is a film that, because we were talking about emancipation last week, and I
Yes.
think this is a
Yeah.
film that, from what I've heard, has done something that I suggested that I would do if I was making a film like Emancipation. It seems to have done something like, but also it's also one of these films that it doesn't seem to be everywhere, which makes me think that the Isle of Wight might be a more arty cinema than I give it credit for, because I can't find it around me anywhere. But you saw it on the Isle of Wight, or
I
was
saw
it
it on the
more?
Isle of Wight,
You
yes. I
saw.
saw this on Monday. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool. So tell us about Till, because this sounds like it's right up my alley.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the story of an incident that happened. There was a family, a young lad, 14-year-old lad called Emmett Till, that had some cousins down in Mississippi, and so he was going to go down there for a bit of a holiday down to Mississippi, and all the way through, his mother is like, really, you can see it. You can see the angst and the anxiety. She's saying, you be careful down there. You have to talk to these people differently. She gives him the whole speech. You know, you must not.
Because this is set during when, the
Um,
'60s, or
60s, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So, and it's like, you know, she says you've got to be still got to be really, really careful down there. You know, and apologise even if you're in the wrong. You got to apologise. Don't stare at people. Don't let that, because obviously living in the north in Chicago is, and she plays that again, like we're going about acting, like I was saying about Olivia Colman. Now, she's fantastic. She's fantastic. I'm not sure.
Danielle Delwire.
Danielle Delwire. Has she been in anything else that we
The
would
Harder
know?
They Fall.
Oh, right. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, she do you, if you remember The Harder They Fall, the Black Cowboy film?
Cowboy film. Yeah.
She
Yeah.
she played Coffee.
Ah, right. Okay.
She looks
Okay.
totally different. Looks
Yeah. Yeah.
totally
Yeah.
different. So it's
But
not that it's not a big deal that you didn't recognize her.
she was brilliant to show that sheer fear really about sending him down there, which is understandable.
Yeah.
And you're almost starting to feel the fear as well, and thinking, don't go, obviously, because you know something is going to happen because of
Yeah.
the thing, and you're going, don't go. But he does. He goes down with his cousins and stuff, and obviously there's something that happens while he's down there, that, you know, obviously he
It
shouldn't
ends
have
up it ends
Yeah.
up with him getting killed.
And it ends up with him getting killed. Yeah,
He
basically.
he ends up getting lynched.
Yeah, he ends up lynched. Yeah. So, and his mother decides that she's going to go down there, and they're like, no, don't go down there, and all that. And then you get the you know, all the different. That's not the NCP. That's car parks, and is it the NCP? Is it
The thing is the NAACP.
NAACP? Yeah,
The NAACP. Yeah.
So they get involved, and they're like saying this, you know, oh, you can make this. This is big publicity. You know, we can. And she's go, I'm only interested in my son. I just my son. I don't want to get involved in any of that stuff.
Yeah, she
Anyway,
doesn't want to become
She doesn't want. She want to
politicized.
politicize it anyway. She goes. She gets the son's body shipped back, and then she says, and it's in pretty bad state. And she says, right, I want this. I want photographs of this. I want this shown. I want people to be made aware. And so there's this court case. There's a court case, and obviously she knows. She walks out towards the end because she knows what the verdict's going to be already. And then she joins the NCAAP to promote it more and more and more. So that's basically the story. Okay, now my thoughts on it were, I mean, she's brilliant, really, 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 the first bit, but I think there was a little bit too much of it, and I found myself because I mean, there's a scene when she views the body, and there's a lot of grief, and I mean, I can understand all that, and you know, the people of grief, and obviously there's the family meetings and people saying sorry and all stuff like that, but I just found that brilliant acting, but can we have some sort of, you know, a little bit more action than, you know, there's a lot of sitting around and weeping and wailing and crying, and the family's coming round, and it's very much like that. And there's not a lot of time spent on the court case. So yeah, again, this was a little bit too long for me. I think this was a little bit too long. I think they could have hurried it up a little bit more, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Brilliant acting. I'm not going to knock it. The acting was first class.
Yeah.
And there was one scene particularly where she goes down and she's talking to the family that her son stayed with, you know, and saying, oh, why didn't you do more? I've seen you've got a shotgun on your more, and that. And he goes, well, you know, I got my family to think of and all that. So there's a bit of conflict there, and very forgiving. But yeah, it's just a little bit too long for me, a little bit too much spent on the grief. You know, it was like, hours of grief. So, and it's like, okay, yes, you can act. You can. It's brilliant. But can we just move on with this rather than just seeing wailing?
Yeah.
So on the whole, yeah. I mean, I thought it was pretty good. I think you might enjoy it. It's one of the few films where I think, like, I've watched a lot of these revisionist things. I guess I was hoping it to be a little bit more like perhaps Mississippi Burning, perhaps a little bit like that, but it was more to do with the politics and the grief. I mean, a good story, and it's good that it's been recognised after all these years.
Yeah, well, the thing with this film is that the way this film is being told, and what I can hear about the way this film is being told, it's right on my, because I was talking about emancipation and how I am so overseeing brutalization of black people on screen. I think if you tell me that this is a film that's all like, oh yeah, almost luxuriates and spends loads of time watching black people getting beaten up, it's enough for me to not watch the film at the moment.
Yeah.
And I hear that for one of the key things I hear about this film is that they don't actually show. They don't show the lynching, and it's all about the effects of what happens after that. And that's pretty much what I was preaching last week. Is what I was saying last week, that show the effects, show what happens, show what is left, show what it mentally does to the people who are left behind.
Yes.
And I like that. I like that approach. And I can understand that something like this, there will probably be a little bit of melodrama, which is what you're talking about. But it's something that I think I will still see when I finally get the chance, when a cinema somewhere near me shows it.
Yeah,
or shows it on TV, inevitably.
For sure, yeah. I mean, I think you're right with scenes like that. I mean, I thought that particular bit was really, really well done, because it's just a case of some not very nice. And also, apparently, there were some workers involved with so you sort of see some workers actually doing the thing, but you never actually really see the actual you hear things and you hear shots and beatings and screams, but you don't actually see any of that, and that's very short.